Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for logging in to today's Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection webinar. This webinar offers closed captioning. To enable closed captioning, click on the live transcript button on the bottom of your screen and choose your preferred method. Please note, any website or email that I mention will be posted in the chat box. For those seeking business licensing assistance, you can visit the Small Business Center at City Hall or call 312-74-GO-BIZ. Also, business licenses can be applied for or renewed online at chicagobusinessdirect.org. If you are part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining today's webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. If you want to learn about the program, please visit chicago.gov/businesseducation. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will be available at youtube.com/ChicagoBACP. We encourage attendees to ask questions. Please use the chat box to send your questions. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Today's webinar will be City of Chicago Debt Relief Programs presented by the Department of Finance. And I'm going to turn it over now to the Department of Finance. Thanks.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Valentine's Day. My name is Joe Flores. I am the first deputy with the Department of Finance. Today we are here to discuss a few debt relief programs that we have going on. Before we begin, I would like to start off by sharing my screen and going to our New Start Chicago page. Hopefully everyone can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it. Thank you.
Great. So New Start Chicago, back in 2019, when Mayor Lori Lightfoot took office, one of her major jobs was to look at fines and fees and make some changes. And there were many changes that have occurred since 2019. All of them can be found here on New Start Chicago. The first three tiles are microsites to the three debt relief programs that we are here to discuss. There is also additional information on what other reforms have come into play, right? We've stopped suspending licenses. We've implemented a 24-hour tow extension if your car gets booted. We stopped doubling city sticker ticket. Used to be 200 to 400. We reinstated grace periods. There was a lot that was done since 2019 through current. We also made vehicle impoundment reforms as well. But primarily we're here to discuss these three tiles, which can be found on New Start Chicago. So I'm going to switch it over to our presentation. And we shall get started. Great. Again, we're here to discuss the Clear Path Relief Pilot Program, Administrative Debt Relief Program, and Utility Billing Relief Program. Again, these are CPR, ADR, and UBR are the acronyms that we'll be referring to. Again, I just touched on New Start Chicago. This is where you can find the microsites to each of these programs, where you can find what are the benefits, the eligibility requirements, and how to apply. These are all online applications, and they all are found here on the New Start Chicago page. So getting started with the CPR program. Again, this is the Clear Path Relief Program. This is geared towards motorists. Many of you are motorists or may have been motorists. So the way it works is you have to fall within a certain financial threshold. Here, it's less than or equal to 300% of the federal poverty level. We will look at the last 3 years of your parking debt. We will bring that parking debt down to the original fine level, and you can either pay in full or get on a payment plan. You must have parking debt in order to apply. You can't apply if you don't have any debt. And once you apply and are approved, then your future tickets to the end of the program will be 50% off. The only exclusion to this program are parking meter tickets for expired meter. Those need to be paid in full. So again, this is CPR, Care Path Relief Program, geared towards motorists, have to meet a financial threshold, or if you're currently a UBR participant, you will automatically be qualified. We look at the last 3 years of debt, bring it to the original fine level, and you can either pay in full or get on a payment plan. Once you complete that payment plan, then anything older than 3 years would get waived. And all new tickets will start off at 50% off with the exclusion of expired meters. The second side to the Palm card is just what information you need to apply. You would need an email address. We want your driver's license or license plate so that we can identify that debt, or a UBR water account number so that we can confirm that you are a UBR participant. And then once you complete the application, we will review the information and respond back by email. Quick overview of the CPR program. Again, it's income-based, 300% of the federal poverty level or a UBR participant. There are two parts to CPR. There is the debt relief that I mentioned earlier, and then 50% penalty waiver. So you'll start off the tickets at 50%. It will not double until this program sunsets, it is set to sunset at the end of this year. The chart to the right is just a snapshot of what the gross amount, monthly gross amount is for the household size. So a household size of 1, the last 30-day look back, anything under 3,645 would qualify for this program. There is a second part to CPR. It's called Fix-It Defense. If you receive a city sticker ticket for expired city sticker or a license plate sticker, we allow you to purchase your city sticker or state sticker, show proof that you purchased it, displayed it, and then you would have to contest it, and we would look at the last 30 days from when you came into compliance, and we would dismiss those tickets. That is the second component of CPR. Moving forward to the next debt relief program, this one is called ADR, Administrative Debt Relief. These are for your AH violations. There are two parts to administrative debt relief. There is the standard relief, which is going on now through March 31st. There is no application required. We have already made adjustments to our database where you only have to pay the fine amount, and you must either pay in full or enter into a payment plan on or before March 31st. It is open to all individuals and businesses. And like I said, our database is updated. You can come in person, go on our website and pay. Balances have already been adjusted. Get onto a payment plan or pay in full on or before March 31st. If you need to submit a debt check request, go on to our microsite. As I mentioned earlier, at New Start Chicago, all that information is on our microsite. The only exclusion is with restitution. If there is any restitution, fees or fines on that docket, that has to get paid in full. The second component to ADR starts on April 1st. This is where instead of paying just 100% of the fine level, you only have to pay 50% of the fine level. This program ends December 31st. It is only open to individuals, not to businesses. If you are a current UBR participant or a CPR participant, the program I mentioned earlier, then you automatically qualify for this program. And similar to our other programs is you don't have to pay us in full, you can get onto a payment plan. This hardship program, you do have to apply online. Again, you can find that on New Start Chicago, on our microsite. You can apply there. It is income-based. Again, if you are a CPR or UBR participant, you automatically qualify. If you are not a CPR or UBR participant, then you have to provide us with income information, and all those documents and requirements are provided on our microsite. After you've applied and approved, then we'll let you know what your balance is. And from there, you either pay in full or enroll in a payment plan. Again, those payment plans are $25 down in terms up to 60 months. The prior standard relief is $25 down, but up to 24 months. And again, the exclusion here is the restitution. So if there's any restitution fines on that docket, those need to get paid in full. The last program that we want to discuss is UBR, Utility Billing Relief. This one is 200% of the federal poverty level, or if you're a current LIHEAP participant, then you would qualify to get a 50% rate reduction on your water, sewer, and water sewer taxes. If you have any past due balances, we would set those aside. And once you complete a year on the program, then any past due balances would be waived. Again, all this information can be found on our microsite for UBR, and all the microsites, the 3 can be found on New Start Chicago. How do you apply for UBR? Go onto our microsite. You can apply with directly with CETA, or you can apply online on our website at www.chicago.gov/UBR. Again, this one is income-based, 50% off of your water sewer tax bill, and then any past due balances. Once you've completed your year on this program, we would waive those balances. Before I get into providing contact information, just to give you some stats, we have helped out tens of thousands of motorists and residents, and we have dismissed tens of millions of dollars to many Chicagoans. The last slide is just contact information. Again, these can be found on New Start Chicago, our 3 tiles on the top where we have our debt relief programs. Each microsite has the information on eligibility, how to apply, where to apply, and what documentation. That is the last slide. If you guys want to open it up for Q&A.
All right, it looks like I've got one question in the Q&A, none in the chat yet, just reminding everyone they could use both. The first question I've got is, my Uber account has been inactive as it says I have debt from City of Chicago, but I could not find it from the search platform. Where should I go or look?
So if you have been deactivated for parking debt from the City of Chicago, then you can contact 744 Park, and they should be able to provide you with those details.
All right, let me put that 744 PARK. All right, 312.
Yep, 744. And then it's PARK.
All right, I put that in the chat. Someone asks, what about debt over 3 years?
My assumption is that that question was pertaining to CPR, as I was discussing, that we look at the last 3 years of debt, bring it down to the original fine level, put that onto a payment plan, or you can pay in full. And once you pay that in full or finish your payment plan, then anything over 3 years would get waived.
All right, next. Well, I paid my tickets in full, but for some reason still cannot log online. I don't know if that's like a question or just a statement.
That may be a question for the platform. The platform, whether it's Uber or Lyft, they should have your debt details. They get updates consistently from us. So if tickets are paid or put onto a payment plan, they are notified to reactivate those accounts. But again, if there's any issues, please contact 744 Park.
Yeah, that seems like an important number. The one in the chat, everybody, 312-744-PARK. All right, next question. My Uber account was deactive. And actually, I should just ask, can you see the Q&A too, Joel?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, then while I'm reading this just kind of for everyone now. Where was I? My Uber account was deactivated last week. I made the payment arrangement on February 7th, went back up today, and they still can't find it. How much longer will it be before I can get back online?
Well, it seems as though a lot of these questions are related to parking ticket debt. So we initiated this, debt cycle many months ago. There have been notifications that have gone out by the city of Chicago, as well as Uber and Lyft. Keep in mind that if you pay today, it's not a real-time update of your platform. We need to update our records, and Uber and Lyft need to update their records. So chances are that Uber and Lyft need to also make changes or update their part of the platform to confirm that they've updated their records based on our feedback.
Got it.
And it seems as though that these are all the questions that are coming in.
Yeah, these are all. You're right. Somebody says I missed the presentation. Will the recording be available in slides? Yes. This recording and actually basically all of the BACP webinars are available online at YouTube. The link is youtube.com/Chicago BACP. This one will probably be up there in a day or two. They usually take about 48 hours. But yes, all this information will be, this whole presentation will be uploaded to YouTube. Somebody says, I have tickets from 2018 and 2019. Can I still apply for CPR?
Yes, you can still apply for CPR. The program is open till the end of the year. Please visit New Start Chicago, cityofchicago.gov/New Start Chicago. Visit the CPR microsite to confirm that you are eligible for this program. Keep in mind that it is income-based. So if you meet the income qualifications, then you can still apply for CPR.
All right. I am the co-signer on my ex-boyfriend's car, and he's accruing tickets that are not mine. Is there a way I can contest these tickets?
When violations are issued, we provide the Illinois Secretary of State with the license plate information, and they in turn provide us with the registered owner of the vehicle. That would be the primary and secondary owner. And we can assess those fines to either the primary or the secondary owner. So if you can contest, if you're contesting these tickets because the violation was issued in error, yes, you can contest. But if you're trying to contest just because you're secondary owner, then that to me doesn't sound like it's a proper contest. So if you're trying to contest a ticket because the violation was issued in error, yes, you can contest because you're a secondary owner.
What happens when a person is deceased and a bill is still coming to an address?
That is a question for 744 Park. They may require you to provide proof that via death certificate so that we can update our records.
Got it. And then just for anyone who was late, I did put again the phone number, 312-744-PARK, and the link to our YouTube somebody asked for. I put that in the chat as well, youtube.com/Chicago BACP. Let's see. This looks like the last one that we have for, the last one so far. If you paid your tickets, can you get a reimbursement?
So if this is a question in terms of I paid the ticket and now I qualify for one of these programs, the answer to that question is no, because we do not issue refunds after someone has applied for debt relief.
All right, we'll give it another like 30 seconds or a minute, but it seems like we got to all the questions that were in the Q&A. Oh, hold on, a couple more. If you're on disability, here's a question. If you're on disability and no longer have a car, how do you qualify for assistance?
So CPR, UBR, and ADR. One is for motorists. The other one are for AH violations. And the last one is for those who are property owners in the city of Chicago. You're not required to have a car to qualify for any of these three assistance programs. There's 3 microsites on New Start Chicago. Please visit those microsites. There are eligibility requirements for each debt relief program, and those are all income-based.
Can you share the URL to the site that had all 3 of those links?
Yes.
I can type it too if you just if you say it, or you can type it.
It's the chicago.gov, the / New Start Chicago.
All right, everybody, that link is in the chat as well. Another question. What happens if you default on a payment arrangement? Can you Oh, I believe I was on mute. A new question. What happens if you default on a payment arrangement? Can you restart it?
Yes. For CPR and UBR, we have that if you default a couple of times, you're still eligible. Once you defaulted 3 times, then you're kicked off of the program. If it's a payment arrangement that's outside of ADR, CPR, and UBR, we will allow you to come onto a payment plan as oftentimes as you want. It's these specific debt relief programs, we only allow for 2 defaults.
Got it. Question. I have tickets over 15 years old for cars that were registered in my name when I was younger, and it's a significant amount. What can I do about that debt?
If you qualify for CPR, that's the Clear Path Relief Program. You can find our microsite at chicago.gov / New Start Chicago. Meet the income qualifications, then we'll look at the last 3 years of your debt. If there is no debt in the last 3 years and you qualify via the income eligibility, then we will waive all of that debt.
All right, I think everything has been answered.
So I see a question here about, can you get back reinstated if you have a domestic violence charge that was thrown out in court? I don't believe that has anything to do with these 3 type of debt relief programs. Can you provide the speaker's contact information? My name is Joe Flores, and I am the First Deputy of Department of Finance. Lamar Bruce is stating that I have been placed on a payment plan, but my account is still on hold. Why? There must be some type of timing issue. Again, as I stated earlier, if you pay at 2/26 today, it's not going to get released at 2/27. You have to give it time for the state of Chicago to notify Uber and Lyft to release that hold. So I was asked to repeat that again. I'm assuming it's based off of the question for the 15 years old tickets. So if you qualify for CPR, there's an income eligibility. If you qualify under the income eligibility, then we will look at the last 3 years of debt, bring that down to the first fine level, original fine level, and you can either pay that on a payment plan within 12 months or pay it in full. Once you pay it in full, complete your payment plan, we will waive anything that is older than 3 years. If you qualify and you do not have any debt within 3 years, but you have all your debt is older than 3 years, then we will waive all of your debt that's older than 3 years.
All right, we'll give it another 30 seconds or so. Thank you, Joel, for answering all these questions and for the presentation. One more time, I'll put in the chat the kind of three main responses to most of our questions, which is the phone number to call for most of these questions, 312-744-PARK. Again, this whole thing will be online. Probably within 48 hours, you can log on to youtube.com/ChicagoBACP to view this entire webinar, questions and answers included. And then finally, chicago.gov/newstartchicago, which has links to all of the programs that Joel talked about today. All right, and I think that's looks like that answers everyone. We got Latanya says thanks for your time. Thank you as well for attending. And with that, we will end this webinar. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great
rest of the day. Happy Valentine's Day.